No! Ring! Oliver! What? No! Ring! Oliver!
Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on Arrow Season 7. So later today from when I'm uploading this video, we could possibly get another trailer for Arrow Season 7 that will be specifically on Episode 1. You know, similar to the Flash trailer that we got last week around this time as well. So do keep your eyes out for that on either TV or just my channel. But what we are going over today is some stuff from Heroes and Villains Fan Fest from over the weekend, where some of the Arrow cast revealed some pretty interesting, well, reveals. And we will also be going over some apparent information from set that was posted on Reddit like roughly a week ago. But of course, most of this will be categorized like under spoilers, so if you don't want to hear them and want me to avoid, me reading your comment, complaining about these spoilers, then best to click off the video now, even though I don't think these are, these spoilers are that big. So we will start off with the stuff from Heroes and Villains Fan Fest that was thrown over the weekend in America, somewhere. So we had Colton Haynes, who plays Roy Harper, and David Ramsey, who plays John Diggle, on a panel which was labelled something along the lines of Arrow Veterans. So as you would expect, they talked about a few different things from the past, but also some stuff from the present and the future, which of course is Arrow Season 7. Now all of these little tidbits of information from this panel are coming from a Twitter account that has had its name blanked out on different sites that this stuff's been posted on. So if this was you, please let me know, and I will link her Twitter in the description down below. But anyway, the first thing that was said was, Colton explained how everyone on set doesn't know what's happening this season. They'll receive only their script portions with everyone else's redacted. Most won't know the full story until it airs. So this part actually has me incredibly intrigued as to what's going down this season, well, early this season at least. The fact that they are going to that limit to keep certain things secret from certain people is actually amazing. But when you think about it, it does make a lot of sense as the show is insanely split in the early parts of this season. Oliver is in prison, Felicity seems to be under witness protection or something like that, Diggle is with Argus, Roy is, somewhere, and then Rene, Curtis and Dinah are just doing their own thing as well. So it makes a lot of sense that they wouldn't feel the need to have, say, David Ramsey, who plays Diggle, to have the portion of the script where Oliver is speaking to a fellow inmate or something like that within prison. Why would he need to know about that scene or anything like that? So I like that early on this season at least, this is the approach that they're going for. Another thing that Colton Haynes said was that he wasn't allowed to shave his beard currently. Now, he doesn't have a Stephen Amell level beard yet, it's basically just a bit of scruff, but obviously something in regards to the plot entails Roy having some facial hair, so who knows where that is going to lead, or whether it is potentially like a flashback or something, who knows. Now we will move on to two things that David Ramsey said. The first one was directly about Diggle, and that is that this season we will meet or learn more about Diggle's family. Now, Diggle's family in the past has been a bit of a rocky area. In Season 1, it was pretty good when they had the feud between him and Deadshot over his brother's apparent death, but then in Season 4 we had that, well, not so good story with his brother where they wrote Diggle to have the brain of an asparagus, and he essentially caused Laurel's death. So you would have to think that this will be about his father or mother or something along those lines, or just both of them. It will be interesting to see, as Diggle has lacked development in recent seasons, so it would be good, to see something, positive towards him in regards to storytelling. And the other thing that David Ramsey said throughout this con to people is quite the spoiler, I guess. And I'm surprised he told people this, but, David Ramsey has he tends to do it. He tends to give maybe a little bit of a spoiler to various people throughout the con. But essentially this thing that he told people is something that people have been wondering about, well, ever since Oliver got sent to prison at the end of Season 6, and that is of course when Oliver gets out of prison. So David said that currently Oliver is out of prison, and they are starting Episode 6 of Season 7, probably today as this video goes up, if not tomorrow. So if he is out right now, that would mean at some point towards the end of Episode 4 or at some point in Episode 5, he gets out of Slabside. Now, I said towards the end of Episode 4, due to the fact that Stephen Amell had posted some stuff on Instagram live with him in his prison attire while they were filming Episode 4. So, yeah, money would be on Episode 5, but it could be towards the end of Episode 4 that he gets out. But there is actually something in the next group of information that will probably be towards the end that could connect back to all of this. But speaking of that next group of information, let's jump into that. So as I said earlier, this is the stuff that was posted on Reddit, so do take this with a grain of salt, just keep that in mind. Now, I'm not going to go over all of them, only the ones that I feel are worth talking about, but I will link the post to all of them in the description. But let's jump into it. So the first thing that was said in this post is, character known as Desmond is an early foe for Oliver in prison. In a recent promo, you see Oliver hit someone with a weight. He is striking Desmond. So the shot they were referring to is this one here with Oliver smacking someone with that weight while inmates and a guard in the background just watch. So he is hitting someone called Desmond, and this just makes me think back to a casting description for a fellow inmate that was apparently set to give Oliver, a rough time. And it appears this could be that character. And the character that we linked that description to back then was the character of Blockbuster from the comics, who has been represented as a few people throughout the history in the comics, but two of them are brothers who have the last name of, that's right, Desmond. That being Mark and Roland. So they could just make it that this character is just referred to as Desmond rather than like trying to pick which brother will be the version of this character. But yeah, going by this, it looks like Blockbuster is in prison with Oliver, and it would make sense why Oliver's striking him with a weight. And if I had to put money on it, maybe the weight doesn't work because Blockbuster, pretty big dude, pretty hard to take down. But up next we have Rene actually has an interesting storyline, builds his character. Now this sort of connects to a shot that we got in one of those super season trailers where we saw Rene looking to be teaching like either self-defense or just boxing to a group of teens. This could just be like a community sort of class and keeping Rene busy and distracted so he doesn't go back into any like type of like vigilante work. But obviously he is going to be dragged back into that regardless, so at least you had a decent shot at it, Rene. Up next we have, for those worried the prison story won't be interesting and will drag out, think again. Now, I am not one of those people worried about the prison storyline. I've had faith that they, would know the right length in which to keep Oliver in there and how to keep it interesting and fairly entertaining, whilst like still being, serious about it. But yeah, as I said earlier, Oliver is out by the end of episode 5, so that isn't that long, especially when you consider all of the other characters and their storylines that are going on. But yeah, this just gets me more hyped for the whole prison story. Up next we have, early on at least, apart from Oliver and Roy, Felicity is the best of the rest. Probably the best she has been on the show storyline wise. Now this may surprise a decent amount of you, but if you actually look into what's going on with Felicity this season, this shouldn't come as too much of a surprise. It does look like they're actually trying to make Felicity into a proper character and give her a decent story for once. Felicity is the one struggling the most with the team disbanding and Oliver going to prison. She is coping worse than Oliver, and he is the one in prison. So I am excited to see her story play out and how it not only affects her as a person, but also her attitude when it comes to, Team Arrow when that eventually gets back together. Now the second last thing to go over is, the Longbow Hunters of Red Dart, Silencer and Kodiak are great. They are quite the threat early on, can't confirm if they are big bad yet. Now the Longbow Hunters are still that group of characters that we are a bit unsure about. Like we know the actors that are playing them, and we know that episode 2 of this season is called Longbow Hunters, and will most likely be the episode in which they are introduced. But we haven't seen anything from them, and they are just, coming across as one big mystery. But maybe that's a good thing. Kirk Acevedo, who plays Ricardo Diaz, did speak about himself as a villain for Season 7, and how he will be more brutal than he was in Season 6, and how he's apparently been taught to told, might I say, to channel Al Pacino and Scarface into this character for Season 7. But you would have to think the Hunters will reign supreme over him, or possibly even like Laurel, aka Black Siren, could get some vengeance and kill him. But yeah, interested to see the Longbow Hunters as well as Diaz and as also Black Siren. And the last thing to talk about from this drop is, Episode 4 is the best episode out of the opening 5 based on scripts. So as I was saying, Oliver is out by episode 6, so episode 4 or 5 are the two options as to when he gets out of prison. So maybe episode 4 is that episode, and it is just like an epic one, seeing that it is so early in the season, and we just see some crazy stuff go down that leads to Oliver getting out. Now I am hoping it is a prison break. That might just be me, maybe I'm the only one thinking it. But that would be pretty cool if that, if from like episode 1 all the way to episode 4, Oliver has just been planning and possibly teaming up and recruiting people to orchestrate this escape. It would be great. Maybe even like teaming up with some of the villains that he locked away to do this. That would be so sick. But yeah, guys, that's it. So thanks for watching. If you did enjoy the video, it would be awesome if you could drop a like and it shows support. Let me know in the comment section down below your various opinions on everything we went over in this video. Of course, if you are new to the channel, it would be awesome if you could subscribe to it. And as I said, that Reddit post will be linked in the description down below. And until next video, guys, I'll catch you later. Goodbye.